Welcome to the sixth in our series of Deep Water Talks. My name is Ned, and in this section, I'll be talking about our action for COP26 called Deep Water Rising. You may wish to watch the earlier parts of the series to fully understand the science behind and consequences of the extreme weather events that are now happening all around us. This understanding will help you to connect and communicate with other movements and reach out to the public. We need them to be standing with us on the 30th of October, because on the 30th of October, Deep Water Rising will lead an international call to COP26. It will be a call of alarm and rage that we are being failed. And it is a call, no, a demand for action. We demand that all nations, their financial institutions, and industries must respond to the climate emergency now, because all life is in peril. In our race against time, we demand that COP26 follows the science and leads us to a safe place, a place that is safe for all life on Earth. We are Deep Water Rising, and we have 6 waves plan. Don't worry about making notes during this talk, as we have loads of resources, including action and design packs. We have one for XR rebels and one for the public. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll find all the links you need under the video. And if you're attending this talk, we'll give you the links after the talk. Join Deep Water Rising, or please get in touch if you have any questions, because we want to build and build momentum, culminating in a mass call of public outrage. COP26 is absolutely crucial to what happens to us and our world. It must stop greenwashing and giving us empty words. And if you want yet another reason to be outraged, on the 9th of September 2021, 7 weeks before COP, a leaked email said that the UK government has secretly dropped pledges to bind Australia to climate targets, and they've removed references to the Paris Agreement temperature goals from the trade deal they're negotiating. And why has the UK government done this? To appease the Australian government and simply get that trade deal over the line. This is a massive betrayal of our planet. COP needs to act to halt greenhouse gas emissions and biodiversity loss across the globe. To amplify this message, we need to work with other groups. We're reaching out and finding common ground with organisations with similar or parallel aims, with common roots, or whose co-liberation is tied into ours. This movement building and the making of coalitions will take longer, so this wave needs to start first. The second wave is onboarding people through a coordinated burst of outreach actions. The third wave will be a digital one and is called SOS, Save Our Souls. The fourth and fifth waves will be a gathering of these groups and people together on Saturday, the 30th of October, from all walks of life, joining us on their doorsteps, on beaches, rivers, bridges, reservoir walls, in iconic locations, holding candles, standing in silence, singing, projecting images onto buildings, church bells tolling, flood sirens wailing, raising the alarm and insisting that COP hears us. We will say, we see you. There is no hiding place. Do the right thing and act now. So let's get down to the specifics. Wave 1 and 2 are movement of movements and outreach. We want a massive collaborative presence representing all parts of society to call the alarm. They may be groups who care deeply about our planet and all life upon it. They may also have close connections with rivers and seas. They may be from faith groups, flood action groups, students, communities affected by extreme weather, trade unions, surfers, rowing clubs, anglers, swimming groups. The list goes on. We need them all. You get the picture. You can draw on your own life experiences and connections to add to this list. For example, we know that the Church of England has given permission for church bell ringers to ring their bells at 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 30th of October. This action is called Ring Out for Climate, and we can show you how to get in touch with your local church to ask them to take part. We've even written a template letter, which you can just copy and paste and send out. The Green Party are also running an action called Clang for Climate, and that happens at the same time, 6 p.m. on Saturday evening. So again, even if groups don't want to be directly associated with XR, this gives them the opportunity to join in. If you need inspiration and contact details, there's lots of information and resources in the following action pack to help you. And then the week before the 30th, on the 24th of October, Wave 3 begins. And this is our digital action called SOS. This event will include Twitter storms, live streaming to Facebook pages, and then uploading these to XR's live stream Telegram group, using a variety of platforms for people to post videos of their flood experiences and uploading images to Pixio, which is XR's global images library. There'll be email campaigns to key players and media outlets, creating a deluge of digital actions, telling governments, big business, banks, and the media to tell the truth and ask COP to save our souls. Full support for this wave is available. So here is our timeline for waves 1, 2, and 3 with the dates and more detail. So let's start working through this timeline. First, you can see that Movement of Movements starts now and runs through the whole of October. We're more practiced at outreach, and so this will be the next wave starting in the second week of October. You could do banner drops, street talks, leafleting, stalls, small actions, talk to the media, and more. Wave 3, SOS, will run from the 24th of October for a week. It can fit around your commitments and is an action that you can take from anywhere. Wave 4 is called Pandemonium, and this is the at-home action. People will be standing on their doorsteps or at windows with candles and torches, with pots and pans and spoons at the ready to sound the alarm at the same time as Wave 5, which is called Call the Alarm. This at-home element means that no one is excluded from participating. Wave 5, Call the Alarm, is very much up to the local groups to organise according to their location, their message, and the communities who will be taking part. But the main themes and timing should be coordinated. XR rebels may wish to escalate into spice, but consideration of the communities participating in the gathering should be considered. The themes are the welcome and the settling in for groups and individuals who have joined along the waterways. This could include refreshments, street talks on NVDA, non-violent direct action, or Know Your Rights, and also the street talk on Welcome to XR. You could teach the drumming pattern that's been specially created by XR Samba for deep water rising and follows the SOS theme. And that can be for those who've brought their pots and pans with them. There could be workshops in art activities. Whatever you feel will connect these groups and individuals together. So could include singing, samba, community music groups. Just let your imagination run wild. And then the coordinated timing starts. So at 5:30, we'll have light, candles, lanterns, torches, and projections. This will be followed by darkness and silence, and that will start at 5:58 and last for 2 minutes. And this silence will then be broken by sirens, alarms, car horns, church bells, pandemonium pots and pans, flares, drums, whatever you have to make a noise combined with the lights and projections. Once this has calmed down, we'll have words for COP, speakers from communities, children, rebels and groups, using words where possible from messages from those in flood-hit areas from the global south. And then finally, there'll be thanks and more outreach and bridge building. Pandemonium and Call the Alarm can be live streamed and shared across your social media platforms. This part of the timeline covers the 30th of October Pandemonium and Call the Alarm. And it also shows you the 31st of October, where we will have an action called Floody Hell, Drowning in Greenwash. Just hold that floody hell thought for a moment whilst we look at the timeline for Pandemonium and Call the Alarm. We've already covered most of those bubbles, but the key times to remember for these are the black and red dots. Everything revolves around them. And this can be replicated internationally across river basin catchment areas or watersheds in lots of different countries. You can see from this slide, all the watersheds are clearly visible. The Call the Alarm needs to be seen and heard from the source of the rivers to the sea and along the coasts, and it all needs to flow to Glasgow and be heard by COP. But back to floody hell. We're going to do something a bit more spicy on the 31st of October. We know that COP is greenwashing its own failings, both past and future, and we're about to see a carnival of companies jumping on the COP greenwash bandwagon with their own set of deceptions. We want to call them out and let them know we're watching you. Here are some of the great examples of past protests against greenwashing on this slide. You can see protests at a major power station, a petrol station, the Science Museum and their collaboration with Shell, the Guildhall, which is the centre of government in the City of London, and a lone sitter for Rebellion of One. We're going to invite you to dress as judges or Lady Justice, Justicia, as she's sometimes known, and skeletons to serve your verdict and declare the guilt of your targets for using the natural world and human life as acceptable collateral damage for their profit. We want to combine the powerful themes of criminal negligence with their lethal consequences, especially for the global south. Their hypocrisy, lies, and greenwash, a call for global justice. The unification and simplicity of the message is key. One of the many things we've learned in XR is that diluting the message confuses the media and therefore the public. We're accusing banks and fossil fuel companies of gross negligence in their international duty of care through their failures and falsehoods. And this is a quote from XR's political circle. There should be no nuance in this story. It should be binary. You cause places like the Niger Delta to wither and die, or you stand to defend them. You lead the world, or you bow to those who consider human rights and the natural world acceptable collateral damage. Rebels will greenwash their targets with green paint or chalk spray to symbolize greenwashing and its awful consequences. You can create a crime scene by chalking around the skeletons, showing the harm to humanity and those who've already lost their lives to the climate emergency. You can get as creative as you like to get the message out using proven XR tactics. Deepwater Rising will help support you to identify organizations or fossil fuel companies in your area that are greenwashing if you decide you want to have a specific localized target. And we can also help with your messaging, coordinating communication, and general support. You'll find the links to the Deepwater Rising Action Pack below the video if you're watching this on YouTube, and we'll also send you the links. And here are our contact details. So please use these to get in touch, and let's do it. Thank you for watching Deepwater Rising for COP26. Stay safe.